Good morning, everybody. Hey, what is it today? Is it April the 29th, I think? I think it is. April the 29th. Just today and tomorrow and April is done. Wow, it doesn't seem like 2 minutes since it was April Fool's Day. Oh well. Day 60. Wow, is it day 66 on trail? I think so. Wow. So that's 13 blocks of 5 completed. Remember we talked about those blocks of 5 before? Well, we've done 13. We're on the 14th now, I guess. Started the 14th. And all things being equal, we have 36 blocks in this of 5. And this whole hike. Confusing, isn't it? How things are broken down sometimes into blocks, and how I calculate my 15-mile days, and how if I do more than 15 miles on a particular day, it reduces the amount of miles I have to do on my going into town days. I know. As an example, right now on Monday I go into town, the town of Waynesboro, and as it sits right now, that is a 9.8 mile hike. Lots of things going on, lots of things to think about right now. First of all, today's kind of mileage. Well, yesterday, first of all, yesterday ended up being an 18.2 mile day. Oh, my camera is, sorry about that. Sorry. My camera arm is broken, and I can't tighten the adjustment on the articulating arm, and sometimes you guys just drift away on me. Anyhow, so today we have a couple of choices to make, and weather is a factor. It's gray right now, and it could rain now. It could rain at any time. I think rain is forecast to come this afternoon, although I don't think it's long-lived. I think it's short rain. So I don't think it's going to be a major issue. However, under the temperatures of lower 50s right now, and forecast for the high for the day is lower 50s. Elevation, huge later today. Some wind added with that rain. That could change things drastically from what we've been experiencing over the last couple of days. Excuse me. Got this frog in my throat this morning. So the way it kind of seems right now, looking at the maps, we can opt for a little over 14 miles today. And that'll put us at a camp probably around about the same time the rain is going to come, basically. Which means we could beat that and be at camp dry. If we proceed after that 14 miles, we have no option really, or no choice, but to then push it to a 20-mile day. And that's because between the 14 point something and the 20 miles is a monster of a mountain. And if we leave the sanctuary, if you will, at 14 miles, I think it's a shelter with tenting area and water. If we leave that, well, then we have to choose, are we going to carry camp water with us? Well, no, we're not carrying like another 6 pounds of water with us up a monster mountain unless we really have to. And we don't really have to. But it would make the rest of the journey to Waynesboro much easier if we elected to do the 20 miles rather than the 14.2. Not that the 14.2 would be an issue, it wouldn't. Decisions. So we're not going to try to make those decisions right now. We're going to see how the day progresses, and we'll all but let the decisions make themselves. Oh. Little peek at the trail behind me. We're in a forest. So far this morning it's been pretty flat. We've had one small climb, I don't know, maybe 300 feet, that was it. The rest of the time it's just a rolling, basically. A little up, a little down, a little flat, a little up, a little down, a little flat. Just basically rolling kind of terrain, rolling hills. So yeah, everything is going well here at day 66. Progressing towards Waynesboro. And again, we have a new set of trekking poles waiting for us in Waynesboro. And ordered from Amazon also, as well as the trekking poles, was 2 granolas with milk. Breakfast ordered. That way, sometimes you just can't find them at the outfitters, and they do give you a nice head of dairy, you know, in the middle of towns when you're on trail. Dairy things like the milk. So I get those if I can. Okay. Let's hope today is a beautiful day. We're getting some, like here, let me show you this. This is really pretty. The GoPro doesn't really show this like the human eye does, but right here in the middle of the forest is a tree in blossom, a small tree, but surrounded by the silver gray, and then the sandy color of the base of the leaves from the fall. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful little hit. Actually, now I get closer to it, it's not even a tree in blossom. It's just a tree with leaves on it. But when the sun, oh, not the sun, of course, there's no sun yet. But when the light was hitting it from the direction that I was looking at it from, and with the light reflecting off it, it looked like a tree in blossom, and it did look very pretty, regardless whether it was a tree in blossom or not. Okay. Let's get a few miles done, shall we? A little bit down the trail is a deer. You won't see him yet. Oh, it's a doe. Oh, she just lifted her head up. She's looking now at me. Huh? She put her head back down again. She's just slightly to the right of the trail. She lifted her head up. You can, oh, there she goes. She's out of here. I don't know if you can see her, but she's leaving. Well, she stopped again. Let's go take a look and see if she stops long enough for us to capture an image. She's moving to the left. I see her through the bushes. You won't see her on the GoPro. Oh, there's another one. There's 2. There's the second one. Whitetails. There she goes. There's the second of the 2. Both gone. Oh well. I have no idea what's going to come out on the GoPro there. But hopefully, they were quite mature too. They were mature does. A whitetail deer. Hey, we are at the Priest Shelter. We're going to take a break here. We're going to have a coffee and a sandwich. I don't know what time it is, probably around 9:30. Probably been hiking for about 4 hours now. So, I'm ready for a sandwich. So this is the famous Priest Shelter. Nothing too much to look at. But if you look at the logbook, it just contains every single hiker's confessions. Okay, I'm going to take a break here. Just kind of coming towards the end, maybe a half a mile, of probably, quite possibly, maybe, possibly even most definitely, the biggest descent so far that I have experienced on the Appalachian Trail. I have no idea, without checking the map, how long of a descent this descent has been, or how many thousands of feet of elevation loss I've had. But it has been the longest, I'm sure, the longest kind of descent. Oh, rocks. that I've had. It's also been very, very, very rocky. It has eased up a little bit now. Oh, by the way, look at the nice flowers on the rhododendrons. See if I can get close to them for you. I hope you see those. Aren't they pretty? Yeah. Okay. So right now, as I was saying, it's eased off a lot with the rocks. But further up there, it was a lot of almost scrambling kind of stuff to get down them. Now, someone mentioned that yesterday there was trail magic at the bottom of this descent. There's a highway. It's Virginia Highway 56. And people were saying there's trail magic yesterday. Is there trail magic today? I don't know. Would be nice. It's been kind of trying to rain for the last couple of hours. Hence my rain jacket's on and my pack cover is on. It's been spitting and just raining, you know, light rain, then stop, then a little spitting, and a little light rain, and so on. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if there's any trail magic. That would be nice. Now look at the difference. I think yesterday we did some footage at the top of mountains because we're not at the top now, and the trees were still bare. Take a little look as we've descended now a long way. I don't know, 2,500, 3,000 feet maybe. Now I know we have to go back up the other side. We just came down off one mountain into a valley, and we have to go back up the other side. We've got a lot of climbing to do today, and we've got some challenging terrain ahead of us today. I know that. But just look how green everything is at these lower levels. Look at these leaves, fully kind of developed leaves, whereas at the top of the mountains, there's barely a bud on a tree. Just shows you the difference that altitude makes. A few thousand feet makes a huge difference. Okay, so yeah, let's get down to the bottom of here and let's see if we're treated to trail magic. Hot dogs, hamburgers, I have no idea, and I'm just being silly. I appreciate anything. If somebody puts a couple of bottles of water there, believe me, it's very much appreciated. I'm just being silly when I say hot dogs and hamburgers, although I've had that. Oh, about a month ago, I had hot dogs and hamburgers just before climbing Roan Mountain. So it could have been more than a month now. I'm not sure. Anyhow, it's fine. Any trail magic is extremely and gratefully appreciated, accepted, enjoyed. For sure, for sure. Okay, let's go. Now, when you're talking about trail magic, this is exactly the kind of thing that you see. It's absolutely amazing. And these guys, they've got hot dogs, they've got hamburgers, they've got drinks, beverages, sodas, Gatorade, snacks. Absolutely amazing. It's very much appreciated. They've got canopies, they've got chairs for us to sit in, which I'm going to. This gentleman right here, I was just chatting with him. What's your trail name, sir?
Close enough.
And you have a hostel.
I do.
Tell us a little bit about that.
It's called the Refuge. It's in Roan Mountain, and we're the best.
You know what? I've heard that too, and I'm sure you are. Isn't this amazing? Again, very much appreciated. Thank you, folks. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Wow. I had a burger with cheese, a piece of cornbread. Cornbread is very traditional to the South. A large coffee. I packed out of the Trail Magic 1 pouch of hot chocolate because I'm out, and I can have that maybe tonight or tomorrow night as I choose at camp. I packed out an apple and I packed out an orange. So I now have some lovely fresh fruit. Whew. Now, That was amazing. Trail magic. All those guys, by the way, upon chatting with them all, and one of them was European, one of them, gentleman, was from Germany, and he lives in Germany. They all through hiked the Appalachian Trail in 2020. That was the COVID year when a lot of their resources were closed. Some of their supply stores were closed. Some of the hostels were closed. So they had a harder time, a more challenging time than I'm having. For me, everything's open, pretty much. But not for those guys in 2020. Although they did say there was still lots open, and there was enough open to make it definitely doable, the through hike. But they did get to some places where, you know, the sign on the door said closed due to COVID type of thing. Hey, okay, as we push north now we have some major climbing, and we have two choices up here. Something I haven't done yet on trail is Blue Blaze. Blue Blaze is a side trail to the Appalachian Trail. All the blazes on the Appalachian Trail are white. Oh, there goes my camera again. I'm sorry. I really got to get this fixed. I think maybe the next time I order from Amazon, I'll order a new extension arm. But anyhow, as I was saying, so the Appalachian Trail is marked with white blazes. Blue blazes are side trails. Now up here, a couple of miles or so, 2.5 miles from where I am right now, there's a side trail called Muir, I think, side trail, and it cuts off a certain amount of the distance to the next shelter. Okay, however, and that is not something I would normally be interested in doing. I'm a white blaze all the way to Katahdin. However, all my hiking so far on the Appalachian Trail has been in the south, from Georgia to Virginia. I'm in northern Virginia now. And every time you talk about the hardest sections on the trail, Georgia always comes up. But there's sections ahead of me that do concern me, such as the Whites. The Whites is, I don't know how long, 100 miles, whatever, I don't know, of extremely difficult rock climbing, hard, challenging trail. And it goes on mile after mile after mile. Well, this Blue Blaze up here is touted as being a great representation of the Whites. The rock climbing, the scrambling, the challenging. So even though it might be like a mile or so, I don't know how much shorter than the White Blaze to the same destination, the shelter, it's extremely challenging, and it gives a good taste of what to expect in the Whites. Yes, we're climbing. And it interests me to do that. So, okay, yes, it is a mile or two. A full disclaimer, I don't know how many miles, but let's say 2 miles shorter than the regular trail. But again, this taste of the Whites intrigues me. I'd like to see what I'm in for, because the Whites are touted as being probably the most difficult part of the trail, or thereabouts. So I think that's the plan. And if that is the plan, that should get me to the mall shelter. By the way, I want to show you something. I'm starting to see this all the time, but I believe this to be Virginia creeper. Take a little look, see? I believe as this creeps up the trees, that is Virginia creeper. It's a vine of some kind, obviously. Up and up and up and up and up. So yes, that is the plan. Now, if I do that, that's going to log me something like a 20-mile day, but I would have actually done 18 miles. 2 of the miles or whatever it is I would have missed being on the actual trail because I chose to do the Blue Blaze. So full disclaimer there. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. It's still a through hike. There's nothing at all wrong with that. But I do want to see, I want to experience the challenge of the whites. And it probably takes me longer to do the Blue Blaze than it would to do the White Blaze. Because the White Blaze is going to be significantly easier terrain than the Blue Blaze. Okay, enough blaze talk. Let's just blaze through this trail today, shall we? Okay, so far, after taking the Blue Blaze trail, I'm going to show you a couple of Blue Blazes right here in this tree. So we're on this Blue Blaze. Well, what I will say first of all is, I've had the steepest climbs I've seen so far yet on the Appalachian Trail within the last mile of being on this Blue Blaze trail. I'm only into the trail 1 mile so far, but I've definitely seen the highest or steepest grade climbs. Not long distance climbs by any means, you know, but definitely I think one was maybe 1/3 of a mile. But it was like 20-degree kind of, or 22-degree maybe, and small rocks are very slippy. Right now, we're in a descent, just basic rocky trail. I just took a little break, and I just ate the apple that I packed out from the Trail Magic. I knew I was saving the fruit for camp, but I love my fruit so much that I had doubts whether it would make it. It's funny. I think was it last year? No, the year before. I was yo-yoing the Bruce Trail in Ontario, and my trail angel Joanne, she was meeting me in a location, and with a resupply box. And when I got there, it was a hot summer's day, and her friend met me with the car and got my box and unpacked my stuff. And she said, "Look, I brought you this really big orange." Now, this orange must have weighed about 1.5 pounds. And I said to her, I said, "Joanne," I said, "I can't take this with me. It weighs 1.5 pounds." I said, "There's no way I can possibly take this with me." "Take it with you," she said. So I did, grudgingly. I said, "Well, okay." But I thought, well, I don't want to be taking this weight with me. Well, I tell you, within an hour of getting back on trail on this hot summer's day, I came across this little bench at an outlook overlooking the valley, farm fields, and the valley below, and so on. And I opened up my pack, or didn't I dig out that orange? And wasn't it the most juiciest, sweetest, coolest orange you've ever had? Anyhow, fresh fruit is one of my weaknesses. It's right up there with chocolate cake. I love my fruit, fresh fruit. It could be anything really. Apples, bananas, pears, oranges, watermelon, cantaloupe melon, honeydew melon, blueberries, whatever's. I'll throw it all in a bowl and stick some yogurt on it and some granola on it. And, oh boy, I don't know why I'm talking like this. I'm getting myself all worked up here. But anyhow, so whenever I see, and you do see quite often at Trail Magic, you'll see some fresh fruit. I always grab some. But I don't eat it right there because I want to eat the proteins, if they have proteins. Like in this case, I had hot dogs and hamburgers, and of course I had the cheeseburger. So I wanted to eat my protein, some carbs, so I ate the piece of cornbread, and of course there was the bun of the hamburger, and had a coffee, as you know, as I told you, and packed out the fruit and a hot chocolate, as I've already mentioned. But I didn't think in my mind the fruit would last long, but it lasted a few miles. I'm about 3.5, 4 miles from there now, before I actually ate the apple. And I've still got the orange in my pack. I hope the orange can make it to camp, where I can actually sit in my tent and peel it and enjoy it. Oh yeah. Okay. So anyhow, the side trail, the what's it called? Not Mur. Oh, Muhar. I don't know. Anyhow, this side trail that's supposed to give me some indication of what the whites are like, I don't think it's done that yet. Now, I've still got quite a ways to go. And sure, it's a rugged, challenging trail. No doubt about it. But I don't think, as of yet, within the first mile, mile and a quarter, that it's an indication of the whites. But anyhow, we'll see as we go further. Okay. Look at that beautiful scenery. It is just gorgeous out here. Gray. I took my rain gear off. Well, my rain jacket off. I left my rain cover on my pack just because in the climbs I was getting hot. But then the sun went away and it cooled down and okay. Anyhow, let's go. Right below me, a rocky and rugged tenting area, fire pits and so on. Maybe you can hear the waterfalls, small waterfalls. So fresh water here, that's a good thing. Tenting, albeit rocky and rugged, but I'm told you can also expect that kind of tenting area further north too. You get that here also, rocky sections and rugged kind of tenting areas sometimes, but sometimes they're just soft ground. Lots of beautiful water down there. It's a nice creek. Now the trail, it did become more challenging, much more rocky, much steeper in a descent. Just look at that creek down there, beautiful. Yeah, just keeps going up, so definitely more rugged for sure, no doubt about that. So I can see how people are saying, you know, somewhat compatible to maybe the whites that are renowned for being rugged, rocky, turbulent, if you will. Anyhow, I'm just going to keep moving forward because that's the options that are available to us. There's only one option. That option is to keep moving forward. Water kind of running over the side of those rocks. That's why all this water on the ground is coming from. Okay, I need my trekking poles here, so we're going to put you guys away just for now. Beautiful waterfalls and pooling ponds of water. The trail, well, as you can see, really rocky, quite vertical. So I'm gonna, well, I've just attached you to my chest strap as we kind of navigate this particular rock patch. Definitely challenging, no doubt about that, and you definitely use all hands, definitely no doubt about that. Is this particular section compatible to the whites? Well, the problem is I don't know, because I've never actually been to the whites before, but I would pretty much say, well, it's hard to say, to be honest with you. Have we encountered sections like this south of us? Probably, but certainly not in Virginia. Whew. Yeah. Okay. Let's just keep going. Right now, we've come out of that absolutely amazing, kind of challenging, grueling, rocky example of the Whites to an absolutely beautiful forest, much easier going kind of brook, stream, and trail. Much easier trail. Gorgeous little spot right here. So, was that section of trail that we still have a mile to do on, by the way, but I think it's easing up now. Was it harder than regular trail? Well, I would say it was, most definitely, especially if it's something we're going to experience for some prolonged period of time. Nice little camp spot right there, which I actually should make my own, because it's right next to the water source. Nobody would bother me, that's for sure. But I'll do the extra mile to the shelter and the tenting kind of area, and then that way it'll give me a little over 16 miles for the day, so I'll take that. So yeah, that was an experience for sure, and again, if that's an indication of the Whites, it's definitely going to be slow going, no doubt about it, because the rocks, the terrain, the ascents and descents, just challenging, steep. So I can understand why some guys say, oh, I can do 20 miles in the south, but it drops to 8 miles in the north. I can see that, or certain sections of the north. It's definitely not all like that, but again, that was a comparison of the Whites. And that's written by others. It just interested me when I've seen this written by others to actually experience it and see what I thought about it. Oh look, beautiful little water crossing right here. Nice little stream. Isn't this a sweetheart? Oh yeah, off we go. Ooh. Oh yeah, quite beautiful. Well, the end of another challenging day. So this was day, what was it? Let's just check our sheets and see for sure, just so we know exactly what we're talking about. It was 66, and it's April the 30th today. We just did 16.7 miles today for a total of, go to the sheets, 840.1 miles. That does not include the approach trail. If you include the approach trail, it's 849.1, so almost 850 miles in. Challenging day. That section we did today, that kind of blue blaze, kind of sample of the Whites, that's going to slow me down a lot when I get there, that's for sure. I don't know what kind of mileage I would be able to do there, but it would be significantly less than I'm doing here. But that's it. That's the way the trail is. There's nothing we can do about that. So overall, we did just fine. So yeah, tomorrow starts day 67, and tomorrow will be, I think it's the 1st of May tomorrow, is it? Is there 30 days or 31 days in April? I think it's 30. If it's 30, then tomorrow is the 1st of May. So you know what? Day 67 will start bright and early, as it always does. I'll set my alarm for 4:30, and we'll hammer on towards Waynesboro. We'll see how tomorrow goes. We may have some planned changes tomorrow. I think it's a little over 20 miles, but I've got to check. It's possible I could get there tomorrow night and spend tomorrow night in the hostel. Don't know. We'll see. Talk to you later. Good night.